So this is lecture 12. So as I promised in class, I would upload these lectures. So when I have time. So this one, I didn't think we had done in class. So I'm gonna upload this one. So factoring. So the first one is the difference of two squares. So we see two terms and we see two squares, x squared and 7 squared, right? 49 is 7 squared. And it's subtraction. So subtraction is a difference. So that's why it gets named difference of two squares. So it has a formula. The formula is x plus 7, because 49 is 7 squared, and x minus 7. That's it. X plus 7, x minus 7. And it cannot be factored any further. So B, we can write it as xy squared minus 6 squared. Right? Like a squared minus b squared. Then we can factor as xy plus 6 and xy minus 6. Okay. So the formula is a squared minus b squared equals to a plus b times a minus b. Let's see 2. We have 5x squared plus 25y squared. This is a plus. So this is the addition of two squares. But those two terms have a common factor of 5. So we can factor out 5. Then we have x squared plus 25 divided by 5, that's 5. 5y squared. And then x squared plus 5y squared cannot be factored. So that's it. Let's see b. B, we can factor out 2xy. Because we have two terms. Both terms have 2 as a factor, has x as a factor, has y as a factor. So once we factor out, we first one we have x squared left. And the second one, I have 4 left. Right? Because if we multiply 4x squared with 2xy, we still get 2x cubed y. We multiply negative 4 with 2xy, we still get negative 8xy. So 2xy, and x squared minus 4, 4 is 2 squared. Can be factored as x plus 2 and x minus 2. Let's see, 3 and 4. So total 5. So let's see this one. We have x squared, 10xy, 25y squared. If this y is unknown to you, you can ignore the y term at the beginning, then add y back in. We only look at x squared plus 10x plus 25. We know that's a perfect square. That's x plus 5 squared. Right? But then because we have y in it, so that becomes x plus 5y squared. So it's a perfect square. Perfect square formula is a square the first one, which is x squared, square the second one, which is 5y, parentheses square, which is 25y squared. Then multiply those two, double it. So 5y times x, that's 5xy, double it, means multiply by 2, get 10xy. So similar for b, it's x minus, oh, hold on, it's a little bit different, right? Can we factor this? So 49y squared, which is 7y squared. So 7y parentheses squared. Is there any way we can do, factors of 49 as up to be negative 7? No. So B is a prime. B is a prime expression. Right? Cannot be factored. because there's no way we can factor 2 factors of 49 adds up to be -7. -7 is just too small. Let's see 4. 4, we have 4 members, so we would group them 2 by 2. We group those two. Can we group those two? If we group these two, we'll factor out x, we have x minus 2. Okay, if we group those two, we have y plus 1, 1 plus y, 1 minus y. So this actually doesn't have common factors. So in this case, this, okay, let's do the first step anyway. Right, we can factor out from the first two. So get x minus 2. Then the second one, 1 minus y squared, we can write as y. 1 plus y and 1 minus y. But these two groups have no common factor. So, we just leave like that. Let's see B. B is a difference of 2 cubes. Because this can be written as 2x, because 8 is a 2 cube. Minus 125 is a 5 cube. The difference of 2 cubes have a formula. That can be factored as 2x minus 3, not minus 3, minus 5, times 2x squared, which is 2x parentheses squared, which is 4x squared, plus 2x times 5, give us 10x, then plus 5 squared, which is 25. And the 4x squared plus 10x plus 25 cannot be factored. So that's by formula of difference of 2 cubes. Let's see 5. Oh, we have more. 5, let's see, we have 4x as a common factor. So let's factor out 4x first. Then the first term left with x squared. The second term left with 4y squared. 4y squared. So x squared plus 4y squared cannot be factored in real number system. It can be factored in complex. So we just leave it like that. For B, we see -2 is a common factor of 2 terms. So we factor out of that x cubed plus 27. 27 is a 3 cube. So we write as -2 x cubed plus 3 cube. Then we have -2. Or sum of 2 cubes can be factored as x plus 3 times x squared minus 3 times x, then plus 3 squared, which is 9. Let's see C. C, how do we factor this? So 15x to the 4th power can be factored as 3x squared. What was it? Try and error. Then 5x squared. Right. So what can we put inside the parentheses? Let's put parentheses. So the factors of -3 can be -2, -3, right? So we want to play with this 3x squared, 5x squared to be able to get the middle term 13x squared. So -6 can be factored as, let's see, -2 plus 3. Right? -2, maybe plus 3. Maybe plus 3 here. Then -2 here. Let's see what's gonna happen. So by doing so, we have 3 times 5 squared is 15x squared. 3x squared times 2, negative 2, get negative 6. 15 minus 6, that's 9x squared. But we have 13x squared. So won't work. Won't work. What if we put a 6 here? Plus 6 and minus 1. Because negative 6 can be factored as negative 1 times positive 6, right? Now it works. Do you see that? You see the middle term, because the middle term is the key. We get negative 5x squared. We get a positive 18x squared. 18x squared minus 5x squared indeed give us 13x squared. So bingo, that's it. So this is factored. Well, let's see D. D, we want to group them 2 by 2 because we have 4 terms. Let's group these two, group these two. So we factor the common factors from each group. So the first group, the common factor is x cubed. We want to factor out the greatest common factor. We have x plus 5 inside the parentheses. The second one, we want to factor out negative 16. Then also we have x plus 5. Because 5 times 16 give us 80. And positive 5 times negative 16 give us negative 80x. Oh, 80 is 16x. We want to factor out 16x. Right? Now we see the two groups having common factor of x plus 5. So we factor out x plus 5. Then the first group we're left with x cubed. The second group we're left with the 16x. Then we see x is a common factor. So let's factor out x. Then inside this becomes x squared minus 16. Well, what's x squared minus 16? Also can be factored. So x times x plus 5. And 16 is 4 squared. So x squared minus 16 minus 4 squared is x plus 4 times x minus 4. Okay, we have 4 factors for this one. Let's see, 6. 6. Oh, we have 8. Okay, this worksheet is long. So 6, we want to solve equation. Solve quadratic equation. We want to move everything to be on the same side. So for the first one, A, we would like to move 6 from the right-hand side to the left-hand side. It becomes negative 6 to the left-hand side. Then we want to factor this, right? We think about 2 factors of 6, negative 6 adds up to be negative 5. There has to be x minus 6 and x plus 1. Right? Because negative 6 plus positive 1, that's negative 5. So that means x minus 6 equals 0, or x plus 1 equals to 0. Then that means x equals to 6, x equals to negative 1. 2 solutions. So quadratic can have at most 2 solutions. So let's see, B we have x squared minus ax, because if we move ax from the right hand side to the left, it becomes negative. Then we move negative 11 to the left hand side, become positive. So 5 plus 11, that's 16, equals to 0. Well, we see this is the difference of 2 squares. So that's x minus 4 squared, right? Or equals to 0. Because the first one square is x squared, and the second one square, negative 4 squared, positive 16. Multiply those two, x times negative 4, negative 4x times 2, negative 8x. Then x minus 4 is 0. That means x equals to 4. So 1 solution. We do have 2 solutions, but those 2 solutions are the same. Basically, just 1 solution because it's a perfect factor. Means the 2 factors are the same. Let's see 7. 7, we do the same thing. We move everything to the other side. when we move, we change the sign of the term. So we move negative 5x squared to the left-hand side, become positive. We move negative 6x to the left-hand side, become positive. Then we say x is a common factor. So let's factor x first. The inside we have x squared plus 5x plus 6. Now the trinomial also can be factored. So 2 factors of 6 adds up to be 5. That's x plus 2 times x plus 3 to be 0. So I have 3 solutions. X can be 0. Each factor can be 0. X plus 2 can be 0. That means x equals negative 2. X plus 3 can be 0. That means x equals negative 3. So 3 solutions. Because this is a polynomial degree 3, so you can have at the most 3 solutions. B, similarly, we do the same thing. We move everything to the left-hand side. So we have x cubed plus 4x squared minus 9x minus 36 equals to 0. So we have 4 members. We want to group them 2 by 2. So for the first 2, x cubed and plus 4x squared, we want to factor out x squared. Then we have x plus 4. So x squared factor out. We have x plus 4 for the first group. But for the second group, we want to factor out negative 9. Negative 9, then we have x plus 4 also. Because negative 9 times x, negative 9x, negative 9 times positive 4, negative 36. So the 2 groups now have a common factor of x plus 4. So we factor out x plus 4. Then we have x squared minus 9. Right? And x squared minus 9 is a difference of 2 squares. So we factor out as, we keep writing x plus 4. So x squared minus 3 squared, that's x plus 3 times x minus 3. So by 0 property, that means x plus 4 is 0, can be 0. X plus 4 is 0. X plus 3 can be 0. And x minus 3 can be 0. So solve each one of this. X equals negative 4, negative 3, and positive 3. So 3 solutions also for this polynomial degree 3 equation. Let's see, 8 applications. You threw a ball straight up from a rooftop 128 feet high. So let's imagine that. Let's see, this is some rooftop. Okay. And these are like buildings, right? So buildings. And you standing on top of this building, right here somewhere. And the height of this from here to the ground is 128. So just imagine this in your head. You don't really have to draw this, but I'm drawing this to help you to imagine it. So this 128 feet high building. And you toss a ball, right, straight up with an initial speed of 32 feet per second. So the function, this function describes the height of the ball after time. So t represents time in seconds after you toss it. So the ball misses the rooftop on its way down and falls to the ground. How long does it take for the ball to hit the ground? So when the ball hits the ground, what is its height? Its height is 0, right? When it hits the ground, the height is 0. So equals to this negative 16. Let me type negative 16 t squared plus 32t plus 128. We just solve this equation. Right. Now let's see. 16, does 128 divide 116? Yes, 8, right? So let's factor out negative 16. So we see negative 16 is common factor. So that becomes t squared, 32t divided by negative 16, that's negative 2t. Oops. And then positive 128 divided by negative 16, that becomes a negative 8. Because 8 times 6 is a 48. 1 times 8, 8 plus 4, 12. So that's 128. Now we divide by negative 16 on both sides. 0 divided by negative 16, that's a 0, still 0. And this side, negative 16 times another factor divided by 16, negative 16 just becomes 1. So that will be t squared minus 2t minus 8. Now we can factor this. Right? Think about the two factors of a adds up to be negative 2. So that has to be negative 4 and positive 2. Right? Because negative 4t plus 2t that give us negative 2t. So that means t minus 4 can be 0 and t plus 2 can be 0. They give us two solutions. So t equals to 4 or negative 2. But we do not measure time negatively. So we just ignore negative 2 as a solution. So that means t equals to 4. So to answer the question, we said after 4 seconds, the ball will hit the ground. Let's see next one, 9. I think 9 is the last one. 9 is the last one. So a rectangular pool measures 12 by 20 feet. Let's imagine a rectangle pool. Rectangle means the two opposite lines are parallel. All the angles inside, interior angles are 90 degrees. And the length, the two lengths are the same and two width are the same. Okay, so it says it measures 12 by 20 feet. So let's write down. The length is 20 feet. The width is 12 feet. A walkway of width x needs to be constructed around the pool. The area of the walkway is 68 square feet. All right, let's just draw the walkway with x, width of x. Oops. So from here to here, that's x. From here to here, that's x. Right. So this and so those are the walkway. Those are the walkway. So where people walk around the pool. And we don't know, we just know it's x, but we know the area, the walkway area is 68 feet. This is given. So this is asking, what is the width x of the walkway? Well, let's calculate, right? So we know this is inside, this is 20. And we know this is 12. So if, let me change my color to show obviously, right? So we can imagine this, right? So this one, let's get the length. The length will be 20 plus 2x, because this side will have x, this side will have x. So 20 plus 2x. And we have two of them, because the top and the bottom. This is also 20 plus 2x. So we just multiply by 2. Now, what about this? This inside is 12 times x, right? So 12 times x. So this plus 12 times x, which is a 12x. And it equals to 68. because this is the area we're getting from the walkways. So the area of the top strap, the area of the bottom one, which is 2 times 20 plus 2x. Then this one, which is the x times 12, plus this one, x times 12. Oh, multiply by 2, because we have 2 of them, right? Parentheses should be here. Parentheses should be there. Okay, so I have 2x plus 12x, that's 14x, right? Or first, actually, we can simplify. We have 2 as factor, because this whole thing multiplied by 2, we can divide by 2 on both sides. 68 divided by 2, we get 34. So we have 2x plus 12x, that's 16x. 16x equals to 34. We want to move this 20 to the other side. So it becomes 34 minus 20. So 34, so 2x plus 12 times x. Yes. That's 14x. I wrote this wrong. This should be 14x, not 16x, because 2x plus 12x. That's 14x. And the 34 minus 20, that's indeed 20, that's 14 too. So divide 14 on both sides, x equals 1. So x equals 1. Now, to answer the question, what is the width x of the walkway, which is 1 feet? It's 1 feet. And that's it. So this is work. This is lecture 12, which I think I didn't do it. So now to make up here.